last time, having a small window of time to collect yourself together, collect a reward, and set out to the town of Lefeld to access the mist, the idol that that Sigrun you had found with your brother and Half-Thor back in the temple of Isthan. As you were making your way there, Al was able to divine into the Blood Hunter encampment with your description. And you were not expecting him to be able to, well, first of all, the focus of your scrying, one alert, to be within the inner sanctum, and you were not expecting Al to be able to penetrate through the wards and barriers of the inner sanctum. And you kind of know that Al literally missed a giant, like he missed a flaming ship of a bullet there, when he was able to break down the wards enough and slip past that he did not trigger them fully. You know that they're definitely going to notice that the wards have been triggered to some extent. But thankfully none of the retaliatory, and it's not even magic. You know that the keep is protected by old blood curses. One like Bavario's, like the very first creations. So, you guys found out that Eilert may have taken the Ceres Victus, and you are not sure about his survival. Then, as you continue moving forward, you heard rumors of a caravan. You found the survivors of the caravan scattered, frantic, injured, and you decided to help them. And as you tracked their tracks back to where the caravan was, you saw that it was a coordinated attack, and that you found the bodies, most of them, strung up in various states of gruesome violation of the right of rest for the dead. The others, molded together in a cruel stone effigy in the shape of an archway, used as a focal point for some sort of interdimensional travel. You guys decided to use one of the cores, the Lemsmillion cores that you attained within the Necromancer's lair. And upon powering the archway, you guys realized that this archway led to the mists. Upon stepping through, you were on a series of gentle sloping hills with mounds of dirt uncovered by grass and plants, ringed by various stones. And you can tell that they're definitely graves of some sort, though they do not look like singular graves, they're too big. And within these series of hills, the mist that is swirling around, you did see that a figure was approaching you guys, clapping, and that it was soon backed by many, many others. You saw still in his withered undead form, standing, mockingly clapping, and you see that at his back are dozens of undead, various undead, skeletons, zombies, of various portions of decomposition. And you also see that he casually, as he is talking, is pulling his hand up, and as he does so, one of the earth mounds that was close to him, that he stepped around, rumbles, and you can see more and more of the dead within Isthan's realm is being called to the undead service. You saw the sky and the horizon with green fell fire, and the sky itself has turned to crack, and little showers of dark green sparks are flowing through. It is here that we start. And is looking at all of you with a grin and a chuckle. So, I guess this is the second family reunion. I don't know what to say here anymore. It's a little awkward.
I'm gonna start shifting.
Hey, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
How many of the undead are in a line behind him?
It's a big group, and if you're gonna start doing anything at this point, if you're already shifting, you're already rolling initiative. So that is already a thing. We're just rolling initiative right off the bat.
Yep, found that.
Okay.
Not amazing.
Oh, fuck.
10 and
Jesus.
11. Ugh.
Oh boy.
I mean, you rolled better than I did, so...
Hmm.
I can't roll initiative on Sigrun to save my fucking life.
I can't roll initiative to save my life anywhere, apparently.
Okay. So, Ario, you're up first. You see that you immediately see Sigrun, and you can kind of read her body language. You can see her already starting to like hunker down lower, and arms are starting to flare out from her side. You're like, ah, crap. You can see that everyone's starting to react, and you are the first one. You are on the ball. What do you want to do?
Okay, I would like to first bonus action to hide behind someone.
Okay.
Crit.
Jesus.
Okay.
Fucking 33. What the shit, man?
And then I would like to try to hit well, I don't know who he is, but dude that we're being offensive against there with my fuck you arrow.
Because
Okay.
Sigrun called him brother last session. I think you can put two and two together.
Yeah. I still don't know his name though. Okay, I'm just making sure I don't have advantage. Ah, fucking 14.
14. Dun dun dun. Will hit.
Oh, okay.
He does not have a high AC.
That is 6 plus another. Wait, so that's supposed to be slash R. 1 second. Plus another 6 for force damage, plus sneak attack for another 16.
And all of you, as you are readying your weapons, bringing them forward, starting to charge forward, you can hear the cracking and ripping of Sigrun's transformation. The first thing you hear as seems to be like chuckling to himself and talking is thwang, and the arrow strikes right like through one of the eyes and digs deep into the head. And you can see that the other eye like look widen in surprise and then lock with you, Ario, and he's what? Oh, that's rude. That's really rude.
Wait for the next part. I snap my fingers and the force arrow goes.
And then poof, you see him just kind of like do a jerk. You actually see the arrow itself kind of like snaps from the force of the magic in the arrow, and you can see like if it was a normal person, that would have just instantly killed him. But he is undead in nature, and you can see like slurry kind of running down his ears, but he seems to be mostly fine. And will doesn't like you.
That seems to be a running theme
So
with undead or like necromancers and such.
mm-hmm. So he's gonna pull up a thigh bone from his side, and he is going to cast
Oh, de-spell magic 3rd level. Or counterspell 3rd level.
counterspell 3rd level. Yeah, and you see him. The thigh bone comes up, and you can see that these blasts of magic were starting to gather around it in the shape of like tiny green skulls, and then your burst of just flat gray magic, almost like a brick, just comes out of nowhere smashes into the top of the thigh bone, and it kind of knocks it not out of his hand, but knocks it aside, and you can see the magic disperse. And he looks down, he looks at you. That's cheating. And then you see that does close the distance to all of you. As you guys exited the portal, you guys are in one fairly tight packed group. So he is at this point close to distance and is, I'm gonna say, adjacent to Rannulfr, Sigrun, and Cinter. Those are no, not Cinter. Cinter's in the back. So you're frontliners pretty much. And that is the end of his turn. Rannulfr, what do you want to do?
I'm gonna get around the other side of him. From Sigrun. I'm going to call my ancestors, which I imagine are a little closer than normal.
Yeah.
As they flare out, encircling him.
You call upon your ancestors. They don't come from your body, actually. You call upon your ancestors, and there is a long series of heartbeats where you're waiting for them to appear, and you're like, what's going on? And then you hear a exuberant battle cry from behind nearby one of the hills, and you see Ivar's just charging, both axes in hand. He looks almost fully physical. He's slightly discolored and is slightly wispy at the very edges of his silhouette, but he looks much more real here. And you can actually hear him yelling and laughing, and you can see the rest of your ancestors are like charging into battle rather than stepping out from behind you.
Randall's gonna have a big grin on his face seeing that, and he's going to take a horizontal swipe trying to get Guild on the ground, hitting him, slashing at his legs, and then follow up with a stab towards his back.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, rage and 2 steps. Wow.
Oof.
Wait, do I have advantage with flanking?
You do have advantage.
Okay, so that's first swing. Then 28. Okay.
Okay. So the first swing does miss, as he is able to knock it away, and you can feel that he is really strong. If anything, he might he's getting pretty close to being able to outmuscle you. You see him knock your glaive away with a backhand, almost casually. The second strike, however, you cleave down into his body. Anything else?
Nope. I think that's all I got.
Okay. You cleave down with the glaive. You hit flesh. You can see that his body does take the blow. And then all of the undead behind him starts running forward. And now there is this frantic melee as Rannulfr, you and Sigrun are now assaulted on all sides by the undead. And it's a big swarm of them too. So they are clawing at you, they are trying to rip at you guys, and they are going to take their strikes on Rannulfr and Sigrun.
As they're closing the gap, can I take a sentinel attack at one of them? Or the wave thing? Yeah.
Glaive swing? Yeah.
Yeah. 28, whatever then.
Yeah. You strike out with one of the glaive, using the momentum to cut off the shoulder and the head of a zombie. It stops. You can see the body hit the ground and then wisp out, like it is not actually flesh and substantial. You do destroy one, but the rest are still crawling to you. There's a lot of them, and it is a swarm. So they do encircle the frontliners, which is Rannulfr and Sigrun, and you can tell that they are trying to encircle all of you. But they just don't have the movement for that. So, Rannulfr, you are within the swarm. Is also beside you. So these guys get advantage.
Yes.
So,
The nat 20 hits.
I see. So you take 24 points of bludgeoning damage, halved since you're raging. And then Sigrun as well, as you are part of the frontline crew. 21 to hit.
21 hits.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rannulfr. I apologize.
Was that before doubling?
Yeah, you take 45 points of damage, halved to 22. I apologize.
I already did 12, so another 8.
Sigrun takes 31
10,
points of
okay.
bludgeoning damage.
Halved because I'm shifted.
Not yet.
It. Okay.
Shifting takes a bonus action, doesn't it?
It takes an action, but I declared it before we rolled.
Yeah, like
I
the
mean-
shifting it wasn't the shifting what caused the battle.
It was kind of, if everyone was moving to battle to fight, then that's what would have happened. Shifting is kind of like, oh, you're gonna try to attack me. That's fine. You're rolling initiative. It's not. I get my stuff off, and then we start rolling initiative. It's any kind of aggressive movement. So you're not shifted yet. Otherwise, you can just like walk up to any person and just like, oh, I'm gonna shoot him in the face. That's not how that works. So you take 31 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
And Rannulfr, Sigrun, you guys are flying from all sides except one direction because that's where your comrades at. Comrades are at your back, which brings us to Al. What do you want to do?
So, based on where Guild is, how many of my comrades are within 20 feet of him in a circle?
Guild is right in between Sigrun and Rannulfr because Rannulfr literally ran to the other side of him.
Oh,
So-
I understand that, but like,
Yeah.
if you were to do a 20-foot circle around Guild, how many of my allies are included in that?
Every single one of you. You guys literally just stepped out of a portal, didn't really disperse, and then was talking to you, right? To
How
you
many
guys.
people do we have?
We're on, though, me, Sigrun, and Guild are on one side of it. I'm guessing he could put the fireball or whatever behind and only hit us.
Yeah, like you can definitely hit only the frontliners, but you are guaranteed to hit the frontliners if you try to hit Guild. He is in between and in melee combat with both of them. So-
Are there any skeletons that if I were to back up, say about, so how close would Al be to that? So that's probably like 10 feet.
They are close. They are close enough to take a swipe at you. It's not going to be nearly as potent as the entire swarm because they seem to be focused on the frontliners right now. But they will get a passing swipe at you.
I'm going to try and get so that at least I am 25 feet away from Guild.
Okay. And 23 to hit.
That'll hit.
You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as they strike at you. The very outer fringes of the undead, skeletal and zombies, strike at you, try to grab onto you, and start pummeling into you. You manage to rip off their arms. You take a few fingers with you, and you step back and move your distance all the way back. The place where the gate was is now closed, and it is continuing to further out into the hills and the barrows here.
Okay, so as long as, so our party, it's what, 6 people now?
Yes.
Okay, good. Excluding me, that means 5. Storm Sphere. On Guild. I need strength saves.
Okay.
The only people who don't have to make strength saves are my 5 companions who are inside of this sphere.
Very nice. Strength save. Guild. 26. He saves. The swarm. They will have. I'm going to give them 2. But that is only because they are
Just numbers.
numbers. Yeah. So you see the front half of them where the storm sphere originates does manage to hold on. However, the ones at the edges that are not nearly as close packed and trying to crawl all over each other, they are the ones who are knocked prone and battered around. So 21 saves, 9 doesn't.
The ones that don't save take 11 points of damage.
Okay. And you can see that the fringe creatures of the zombies and the skeletons are smashing into each other. Skeletons are breaking apart. The zombies are being ejected out of the storm sphere, or like kind of comically being dragged around by the high gale force winds that are in here. It is a weird, eerie howling noise that all of you hear inside, since the sphere itself is moving around your heads at fantastic speeds, but not actually touching you in any way. All right.
And then as a bonus action, Guild. Does a 25 hit?
25 will hit.
He gets struck by lightning bolts from. I assume because it's centered on him, it kind of just zaps him real quick for another 46.
Yep. And then as it's centered on him, you see the very center of it start glowing, and with a violent zapping noise, his form lights up for a brief second, and you can see Gil just once again stagger visibly as he is struck by lightning that goes through his body, and you can smell burnt, rotting flesh.
And he takes 16 points of damage.
And he takes 16 points of damage. Cal.
The dream is alive. The dream being one day I was going to twin haste, and I'm going to do it right now. So I'm twin hasting on Sigrun and Rannulfr.
Ooh.
Thought you might like that.
Twin hasting on Sigrun and Rannulfr. Sounds good. Anything else you want to do? You are still within melee distance of the swarm. You're on the outer portions. You're not engulfed yet.
I would like to move back because I don't think I can take a lot of pain, especially if I'm going to be concentrating on haste. So I'm going to move.
That will incur an attack of opportunity.
Shit. It will, won't it?
Yeah.
So
it's up to you, because you can tell that the swarm does want to collapse around you as well.
I gotta try to get out. I I suppose.
Okay.
You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna let Sigrun and Ralph have at least one round of haste before I blow my saving throw. Yeah.
Okay. Callen. Okay. One hand pointed towards each of them. You channel golden energy that sparks into their back, and you can see like lightning kind of crawling down their faces and their bodies before they both kind of perk up and are ready to go. Okay. That brings us to Sigrun.
Okay. One action to shift.
Yep.
Bonus action to light up my rights.
Mm-hmm.
My unarmed strikes is what I'm using. I only have to pay the 9 once because unarmed strikes are considered one weapon.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I have another action now. So
it is the hasted action, so you only do get the one extra attack, but you do get an attack this turn.
I'm gonna try and hit Guild.
Go for it.
24?
That's gonna hit.
Ugh, it was an awful right roll.
Okay.
For 12. It is considered magical because I have the right on, so.
Mm-hmm. So you strike at him, and as your claws strike into its body, and you can see it rip through, and you follow through with a huge like elbow that comes towards his head. You can feel the bones crack underneath your blow, and you can see that one side of his head already kind of sunken in, lightning still having burnt giant scorches of his body. He is looking down towards you, and as he does so, his eye does light up with green fire. He is looking straight at you, and you can hear that there is
I'm using frost damage as an aside, sorry.
Okay, frost. And he is saying, "Is this the one?" "Yes." "Interesting. This is my sister. And she was very, very rude. They're a group. Bring them in." Ario, what do you want to do?
So I want to use a bonus action to. I'm still going to be engaged, right?
Yes. Unfortunately, you are.
Yeah. So I'll use a bonus action to disengage.
Mm-hmm.
And just like break away from like the other group and everything, get by myself, like
Okay.
25 feet back.
Mhm.
And then pop a shot at Guild there.
Okay, take a shot. This is going to be a bit more of a difficult shot because it's like kind of tight packed. If you miss by 2, you're hitting the swarm, so it's not like
Okay.
your shot's missing completely.
Okay, cool. And 20 to hit.
20 will definitely hit arm,
Okay.
and then sneak attack
Plus sneak attack for another 21.
for another 21.
Oh,
Okay, so 29 points damage. Another arrow gets it right in the side of the temple, and you're like, God damn it, that's like 2 perfect kill shots. Doesn't do anything because he's fucking undead. You see that he looks very unsteady already, and he is like swaying from foot to foot, from leg to leg, and he's looking. Once again, his eye kind of snaps back to you. I think I'm going to remember you, and then goes back to Sigrun, and he is going to take his strikes on Sigrun.
Disadvantage.
Ancestors harrying him.
Ancestors. So it cancels out into normal then, since you guys are in the swarm.
Yes.
Okay. 12 and 12.
Nope.
Okay.
Not even close.
And yes, okay, sounds good. Yeah, so he strikes at you. Can tell that his depth perception is gone. He is already mostly turned around, and he is swinging at you like a drunkard and not actually being able to do anything particularly useful. And you can see that he is trying to, like, there is a bit of magic or some sort of effect that is coming from his eye that he's trying to lock on you. But you can tell that because Ario put an arrow through one of the eyes and he seems to be really off balance, like he's that portion is not quite kicking in. Rannulfr.
Before Rannulf's turn, sorry. Can you give me another strength saving throw?
Interesting. Oh yes. 15?
Ooh, no. So that fails. So now the sphere is difficult terrain to him, and he's going to take an extra 2d6 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, sounds good. As he swings and overextends, you see that a gust of wind strikes him like right across the shoulders, and he is spun around before his feet is swept out from underneath him, and he falls to the ground. And you can hear like a very audible crack as you can see more of his battered faces sinking in further into his head. And he's not looking good. Rannulfr.
Rannulfr, hasted and very quick, is whirling his glaive around like the
Blenderize the
spinning.
motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's like the spinning winds of the storm sphere, and he's sending a lot of strikes Guild's way.
Spin back around.
So that's glaive,
Glaive.
glaive, glaive, glaive.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
God damn.
And you guys just see Rannulfr using his glaive and moving quickly, spinning the glaive, and you can see that he's almost doing this dance with it as he is using like just the spinning momentum of the wind as well to help him fuel the strikes, and takes off an arm, like severs a spine, cracks the back of the neck, and just decapitates and kicks the head off.
Well, that was impressive.
You see the head, like, that does go off just a little bit further, and it's, like, kind of rolled in amongst the legs of the undead. You can still hear Erm's chuckles.
Of course.
I doubt that'll be the end of that.
Okay. The undead are going to try and...
That was amazing. However,
that was fucking... Yeah, that was just... Oh, that was fast. The undead are going to encircle around the people who are still here, which
rest in
means...
pieces, Erm.
Which means Rannulfr, Sigrun, well, you guys are already encircled. Callen, now you are considered encircled.
Yeah.
And they are going to take their strikes on you guys. Rannulfr, 16 to hit. Sigrun, 10 to hit.
Nope.
Callen, Natural 20. No, almost.
You know what?
Jesus.
21 to hit.
Uh-huh.
Okay. They are weakened because you have been striking at them, and the Storm Sphere did get a good portion of them out of there. So you take ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh!
Ooh. Okay.
Shield Maiden's gonna do not much to help
The
that.
Shield Maiden is going to muscle her way in and block one of the 9, 10, or 10 different directions that Callen is being struck at. She helps him a little, but there's just so many different arms coming from different places, and they're being really nasty too. They're like going for your legs and trying to bite and
not
whatever they
okay.
need to. Like you're just being swarmed on all sides.
Not okay. All right, so
Con
23
save.
damage. Yeah, let me
Wow,
check
that
my...
really couldn't have been much worse.
Yeah, no, it couldn't have, could it?
6, 5, 5, 5, and dual ones on my reduction.
And you said it's a con save, yeah?
Yeah, and it has to be half, right?
It just has to be 10. Oh, yeah, no, half. Sorry, 12.
Half.
That's exactly it.
That makes it. Okay. We're still hasted.
Haste is still up. Okay.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah. So Cal, Sigrun, and Rannulfr, you guys, when you are trying to make your way out, will need to make a strength save first
Oh boy.
because you guys are fully encircled, and they also still get a attack of opportunity unless you disengage. So that's what that
Can't
means.
we just fight our way out?
If you want to stay in here and try to fight your way out, yeah, you can definitely do that too.
Well, first thing, because the undead have ended their turn, I need another 2
Yes.
strength saves, Matt.
Ah, I see.
Fail. Ooh, barely.
Okay. So the
But-
outer ones this time are the ones who save.
Oh, and it backed me up for a second. Hold on a sec.
I'll read the damage. Callen, what are you gonna do?
Um,
Oh, sorry, not Callen. Sorry, Al.
I was like, wow, okay. Back
So-
to me.
Who is, because Cal's kind of getting buffeted here, who is within a 10 feet circle around Cal?
I think me and Rannulfr, right?
Yeah.
That works. None of them are going to be affected by this. Sorry, it's still loading up real quick. I am going to use Shatter, so it'll be con saves for the undead around Cal.
Oh, jeez. You are also targeting the saves that the undead are good at, by the way. Or no, sorry, just a 5.
Oh, that's going to be bad for them. So, okay, I'm back in finally.
Okay. So around you guys,
God
Cal.
damn it, it backed out again.
Oops. Cal, just
How
Tell
much
me-
is it?
I'll see the damage when.
It's 3d8 thunder damage.
12 thunder damage.
There's also a 2d6 bludgeoning damage to anything that failed to save.
Okay.
5 bludgeoning.
All right. Okay. So between the shatter, helping clear a bit of a space around Cal, Sigrun, and Rannulfr, and then the wind still kind of battering out at the outer portions of the group, you can tell that this group is almost completely, at the very least, they're all very battered down and worn down. You're seeing periodic puffs as each body, as it hits the ground undead, it does disappear into like a spectral mist almost.
I still have a bonus action.
Sure, take your lightning shot.
Just any random undead, I guess. So that's
Okay.
going to be...
That is gonna
25.
That's definitely gonna hit. You don't even need to roll damage. You hit a skeleton with like no front teeth, and it just blasts it out and just completely disintegrates. It doesn't even get a chance to hit the ground. It just immediately fizzles out into spectral smoke. Okay, Cal, you're up.
Okay, I'd like to get myself out of this crowd. Is there any way I can do that now that it's cleared a little bit without getting attacked?
If you use disengage,
Yeah.
If you're using disengage, you can. You still have to make a strength check. I'm gonna say make it with advantage, since
Okay.
he did kind of buy you a good berth. to pick up a bit of momentum.
Yeah, let's see how embarrassing this gets.
Unfortunately,
Yep. That's about what I figured.
the weight of the spectral undead are a little still too much, and they're thinning very quickly. They are still pressing towards you guys, and you are unable to break your way out of this encirclement.
All right.
Okay.
Guess it's that.
Whoopsies.
It's fine.
Sigrun.
I would like to shift to push Cal between me and Rannulfr
Okay.
so that he's got a little bit more protection. Hopefully they'll try and hit us instead of him. And then I'm going to start swinging. I have 4 hits? Yeah.
Hit, haste, bonus, right?
Yeah, I have 2 normal attacks and then bonus and haste.
Yeah.
And I don't know, am I at advantage? Or is it because
No.
they're around us, it all just cancels out and it's just straight?
It's just straight. Okay. I mean, yeah, all of them hit.
All of those hit? Okay.
Rip
I
and
figured the
tear.
last 3 did, but...
I mean, it's a swarm of undead. They don't have a particularly high AC. Okay, so between Sigrun just carving a path out of this place, and as she does so, she's... Yeah, like, you make your way out. They are trying to strike at you. You have supernatural reflexes, also coupled with your feral senses, coupled with your already magically slightly, dubiously corrupted hide, like emboldening your defenses. You are being scratched at, and it feels like someone is trying to hit you with like a thin twig when you're wearing full plate armor. It doesn't feel like anything, and you just rip away straight through it. With you, Rannulfr, and with the rest of Al's Storm Sphere, you guys destroy this pack of undead. And you see Sigrun kind of like at not the epicenter of it, but she did make like a good like 2/3 like trip around just to clean up the stragglers. And you guys are seeing that this mist seem a little thicker in this area, as the spectral mist has actually, you can see it rejoining the mist that are rolling back into you guys. So
I would like to look at Guild's body.
you looked at Guild's body. It doesn't look like Guild. It looks like a fairly pale, and like it looks like this person has been ritualistically preserved in some way. There are like these small little tattoos around their face. Their clothing is like a burial shift, and it looks mummified, except really, really well preserved and not too old. It looks like they've been embalmed, and you can tell that there is a bit of like age degradation, but not that much. Or the people who did it did a really good job.
So I'm gonna remember all of that minus the face part, because his head is no longer with his body. That wishbone that he had, I'm gonna kind of pick that up. Yeah, the thigh bone. I'm gonna pick that up.
Yeah, it looks like quite literally just like a thigh bone. You don't see any markings on it. You see that it has like a crude cloth handle, like he ripped off a handkerchief and just kind of tied it on there. Yeah, that's what you have.
That was too easy.
That's not him, is it?
No, that's not him.
I'm guessing we're going to see more of him here.
He's a revenant. He'll keep coming back until either the magic that keeps him going is gone, or he gets his quarry.
Presumably.
Me.
This
I
corpse
don't-
was. Oh, you first.
That was too easy. I know we've gotten better, but not that much better. The last time we met him, he hit me so hard I went flying. In much
right.
heavier armor than this, I'd like to remind you.
That seems like a fair assessment, Sigrun. The corpse here, it appears to be preserved, like they planned for a very loose understanding of Revenant. I know that they can inhabit certain types of flesh. I think that they prepared this for him to inhabit.
Wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah.
My understanding is that some of them, if they're powerful enough, can change the way the bodies they inhabit look. So. Alright, now we have to figure out where we're going. He's not our target. I mean, I'll kill him 1,000,000 times over if I have to, but he's not why we're here.
Right.
Hmm.
Do we anticipate that he will be back quickly?
I don't know.
Oh, fun.
Doesn't really change how we're going about this.
No.
We gotta find however we're gonna find it. Go from there.
Okay.
Alright.
You do see that center. Who was there, helping clean up the rest of the undead. He was kind of separated from you guys since he had to come in much later. He is looking around. You see him take a couple of deep breaths, and he seems to be singing. Like this loud, not a bellowing chant. His voice is still fairly calm and measured, but it is a voice that carries. And you can see that there is a raven that starts flying towards you guys, and then a few more from different angles. And he puts his arms up, and they all kind of land side by side on his arms.
I'm gonna make my way over.
Oh, good. And he kind of like offers you one of the arms, and some of the ravens are looking at you, blinking,
I
heads quirking.
will hold up an arm.
Two of them just go jump onto your arm. You can feel their weight on you. Yeah. And Center seems to be muttering to them. And Sigrun, you can also feel some the ravens are like leaning in. It's not cawing. It is a very soft hiss, and it is like it's like a slight crooning noise. Like they are, not trying to like be loud. And I actually want you to make an animal handling check, please.
Oh dear God! Yeah, okay. Just normal.
Normal.
10.
Okay. So Splinter is seemingly communicating with these creatures. You can actually see him nodding. You can see him as he's talking. One raven flies off one direction. The other one flies off another one. And the last one he kind of puts on his shoulder. He looks at you. What have you found?
Birds. She looks confused. I don't know.
Right. I apologize. I forgot. That's it. It's not a gift of Isthen specifically. It's more of a learned talent. Perhaps we'll get to that later. After this whole entire.
She's just gonna reach up and scritch one of them.
Yep. It turns its head so that you can scritch it underneath the beak. They seem to be like very, very docile, very tame. And you see Center is talking to the two that you have on your arm, and he kind of nods, and the two fly off and the one on his shoulder kind of hops around before it hops onto your shoulder. There is good news, bad news, and
Worse news.
your type of news.
That's usually the worst kind. All right. Go on.
Which would you like to hear first?
Let's start from the beginning. What's the good news?
If Then is not found, she's not perished yet,
Good.
and she put in measures while she still had enough claim over her own domain, as they would put it, indicators where she is hiding. We will need to hit different areas of the mist. From what the ravens say, these areas will call to us as adherents of the Raven Queen of his son. Yes, that is good news.
What's the bad news?
The presence within the mists, within her realm, is strong. With her waning, it is becoming the dominant power here. As you have already seen, her very domain is overrun by decrepit idols of false life, and it is burning. But the true dangers lie amongst three separate things.
All right.
There are beings of shadow hidden. They are beings much like you or I, of flesh and blood, or of the undeath, more material, watching the roads and the paths that lead out from each area. And the usurper is playing mind games. He is using, as the Raven called it, dangerous smelling mist. It has seen another adherent of Ithan, melt within those mists.
Melt
Yes.
into a puddle or disappear.
Reduced to such a base state that not even a raven would pick at the corpse.
Oh. Well,
And
that should be fun.
is this dangerous mist intermingled with the rest of the mist? It all looks like mist to me.
The animals seem to have a small way of distinguishing, and hopefully we will also figure out how to distinguish between. At the very least, one would be able to feel your skin sloughing off, I hope. If you cannot, that is truly insidious.
Well, if the animals can tell the difference, there's every chance that it's smell.
I would hope so.
We can certainly hope so. I've gotten better at that. Though everything here smells dead. Not like her, just dead.
So that was the bad news.
Oh, I thought that was the bad and the worst news. All right, worst.
They know.
They know what?
I don't know how they know. One of these, actually the one you have on your shoulder, was a familiar for one of the adherents. The beings that are in these mists know she is alive and that these sites exist. We are racing to get to these sites. to decipher the clues and to figure out a position of where she is hiding.
All right.
And their master walks the mists currently.
Do they know who it is? Or what it is?
It is an avatar. They don't know exactly the full length of what it can do, but it seems to apparently be powerful enough that it can draw in life and soul energy into itself and capture it within itself. It is going around systematically wiping out sections of the mist and setting to torch the various burial grounds of old.
So we'll kill it too.
I'm not sure if that's possible.
I
But-
don't accept that anything's impossible.
Well then, Sigrun, jump and reach the moon right now. And he's giving you like the most blank look.
She's just gonna roll her eyes.
However, it is distinguished enough. The usurper is confirmed. It is Orcus.
Alright.
Which brings along a slew of its own problems if it has manifested onto her plane. That is neither here or there. Come. Any specific, we will need to traverse through multiple burial grounds. And the location of exact places will... they are cryptic. However, I believe I know where one, at least, lies and is a place we should start at. I would like to ask that we start there.
Alright.
The way.
And he looks to the raven on your shoulder and it flies off and starts flying. And you see Center is walking quickly.
I will follow.
And at this point, you guys have two choices. You can try to maneuver your way through off the path and making your way through and in between the various graves and markers and kind of through what seems to be like open hills and valleys that lead into forests that lead into like another like open, almost like tundra like plain. You can choose to stay on the path, or you can go through the forest, or you can go off the path.
We know they're watching the roads, the paths.
They're watching the roads, but they also have sentries, shadowy sentries within the other portions as well.
So we're probably gonna run into shit one way or the other.
So it's more of a thing of, do you want to try and sneak past and like try to be a bit more quieter about it using the forest path, or do you want to try? Because yeah, the way he made it sound, they're watching, which means that eventually one group of their reinforcements is going to catch up to you guys or cut you off. The way he made it sound and the way he's continuing kind of talking about like what the Raven has seen / has the information that it has stored inside it is that they're not sure where these beings, these followers of Orcus are moving from, but they seem to be able to react fairly quickly where they need to be.
Well,
I mean, I'm not very much for sneaking around.
nor
I'm
am
gonna
I.
find them either way.
I'd be more
Take a quick
comfortable
route.
on the road.
Before we go much further in here, I'd like to take the opportunity to cast Death Ward on some folks.
Maybe
Feel like
on
it might be-
yourself?
Yeah,
I
you want to
suppose-
start out with yourself?
I suppose I can do that, sure. And also Al.
Okay. As you're casting Death Ward, I do want to say this right
Oh,
now.
no.
Okay.
You can immediately feel the Death Ward does take. It will trigger as it's supposed to, because it is a brief fooling of the boundary of life and death, and almost like a not fully time, but it is meant to kind of manipulate that aspect. But you can feel that any kind of healing magic here, it's gonna have a bit of trouble being.
Poor Oz. You just can't fucking
this is
win.
so great.
It's not that it's going to be completely useless. It is going to be that anything under a specific power amount, anything under anything that is first or second level spells, not including your racial or class ability, but first and second level spells are going to have to go through a spell check.
Okay.
To actually actualize it. If it does not, if you fail, the spell heals minimum amount.
Okay.
That's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I was
okay.
like, here we go again. Yeah, so Death Ward on myself, Death Ward on Al, I think also.
Is my feat still going to work the way it normally does?
Which is
Mending Affinity.
Mending Affinity.
It basically just gives me extra healing whenever somebody heals me.
Yeah. So like the spell itself will be diminished if he fails, but your Mending Affinity will work just fine.
Okay, good.
Can you
That
rend
makes
Death
that
Ward?
even better. I mean, you can, yeah. It's just a matter of, do we want him? We're on a time crunch. Do we want to go wasting a bunch of resources? Speaking of which, Cody,
Yes.
I know you dig your big spells. I think you should stick to like one like battlefield control spell like Storm Sphere, and stick to cantrips as much as possible, because we don't know if we're going to get a long rest anytime soon, and I don't want this to end up like Saturday.
This is okay. I'm gonna make it fairly transparent. What's gonna happen is if you guys take the road, you're gonna meet an encounter.
Yeah.
The encounter is not gonna be actual combat. It is going to be ability checks. We're gonna kind of run it like that, where I don't want to go through like 10 different combats and then finally get there. That's gonna take too long. So it's gonna be like you run
Skill
into
challenge
this,
type stuff.
yeah, skill challenge type stuff. If you guys accrue enough, successes before it fails, then you get through it quickly enough, and you can burn resources to give yourself additional positives, either like depending on how big the resource you burn, it's either like a +1 or a +2 to your check before you roll the die, or you can give yourself advantage, things like that.
I am down for skill challenges. We've always had a pretty good time with those, and we now have more people.
More people.
We've
also-
never out and out failed a skill challenge before. We've come really close, but we've never out and out failed one.
Fair enough.
Rannulfr likes birds.
For obvious reasons, Sinter is
God,
not
you
going to be
asshole.
joining the skill challenges. So it is you guys and you guys only.
Okay, that's fine.
So, are you guys going to take the roads, or are you
Yeah.
guys going to take the roads? It is. Yes, all ingredients.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay, so there is a way. Who wants to do what? Once again, just walking down the road is probably a terrible idea, but at least you can stay on the road and give yourself a couple of precautions. Like, tell me what precautions you're taking to make sure that you are not just ambushed, or any precautions, any specific things that you want to take note of and do. The paths themselves are fairly narrow, and you can feel that there is like a magnetic shift to it. Like there is a radius in which is considered on the road, but anything past the immediate direct tree line, you can kind of tell which one, like where it is, just by how deeper and how much more shrouded past like the edges past the road are. So staying like the road itself is going to give you decent visibility out to maybe about 50 feet before the mist. There is always ambient mist here. the mist is too thick for you to see any further than that.
I would like to take advantage of my superior mobility and kind of be the one who ranges out a little bit. I also am not really bothered by the fact that I can't see much, because as long as I can hear or smell, I have advantage on perception anyway.
Okay, sounds good.
So I think that that's probably Sigrun's best role. I do have a question, though. I know that she's not necessarily the dominant here at this point. As for Isthin, I know Isthin isn't really the dominant force here right now. But do I feel any kind of affinity for this place?
For the place, it feels quietly comfortable, or it feels like a quietly comfortable place for you, like a cozy reading nook or somewhere where you feel secure and safe, has been breached by something that is not supposed to be there. It feels grating, and it feels just that intrusive feeling is here.
Okay, so there's a connection, but it feels like somebody's fucking with it.
Yeah, like you can very easily tell that Orcus is pretty established here, and that he's literally burning this plane down. So it's already like you guys are on a bit of a timer. So Sigrun is outranging.
If Sigrun's out in front ranging, I'm going to be with the rest of the group, with my glaive long, ready to intercept anything that tries to approach the main group.
All right.
I'm going to hide myself.
What a surprise. So you're going to use like Cal, Al, Rannulfr, those three to kind of like shift, like you're going to get them to all kind of make a rough triangular formation around you and use them to block your vision in, or block your form in a little bit.
Yeah, basically, for the most part, it's gonna be like looking for places where I'm gonna be out of sight, just between people as everyone's moving.
He's like a cat just slinking between people's legs.
Al is going to use Pedwig to kind of be that in between Rannulfr and Sigrun. So Sigrun's the outlier, Rannulfr is the immediate defense, and Pedwig is kind of be circling the in between area.
Okay. Circling the in between area. Sounds good. Okay. So, as you continue making your way down the road, and making very good time, as Cinter seems to be fairly focused. He seems to be set on his course. And every step that you take here, it feels the same kind of stepping that he did with the Fae portion. And you can actually see with each step, the surrounding is changing very just drastically. But you can tell that looking at this, Al, it's actually amazing. Because there is a portion where you start recognizing some of the burial techniques. And you're thinking, this is the first recorded burial technique from pre-First Mythic era. This was back when they were worshipping, or believed to have been worshipping storm gods. You guys theorize the storm giants, who were ruling over normal people, and they would literally leave out their dead on open fields out in the middle of a storm or rain. So hopefully that their bodies would be cleansed and their soul would be free to go into the heavens and join the storm and the rains and the clouds. And you can kind of date it, and you're like, if that's that, and the further continuing you step, it actually seems like you're coming forward in time. Go from like early First Mythic era to like different burial techniques of different civilizations that you guys have seen very little of. Very little has been preserved, mostly due to the various warring periods of the first, second, and then the Sorcerer King's era. Literally, that was a shit show. The Sorcerer King's era did as much damage to any kind of preservation as all of the other eras combined, because they were so focused on unearthing any kind of place that might have magical value and using that as a resource. So they would break open tombs, they would break open temples, sometimes even just completely demolish them so that they can access ley lines easier. You remember like a single passage they destroyed a perfectly preserved temple of a now completely lost sea god because they just needed a fort at that location. And that was the creation of Redmont. So, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah,
Lore
like
dump.
yeah, they just fucking bulldozed everything. So it's really interesting for you to walk through the various portions. With each step, you can actually kind of feel like you're going forward in time. Different burial methods, just a couple of things that you recognize, a lot of things that you don't. It's a lot of history, a lot of everything. Any kind of like anthropological evidence is mostly gone at this point. So as you guys continue stepping forward, it seems to now at least kind of even out at a general namers and shapers era-ish. And Al, that's when you can kind of place the time period around. And this is where, Sigrun, I'm going to need you to make me a perception check. You do have advantage.
Okay. 18?
18. You do hear the shambling through the mist. There is a group up ahead. Actually, I also need you to roll me a d6 as well.
Okay.
And this is the manner of your death. Or no.
What?
The manner in which this group is going to. Okay, so you make your way forward. You are hearing them. Smells are a little more muted through the mist. Same with sound, but your senses are keen enough that you can hear footsteps. It is a fairly large group. You're thinking one of those undead swarms once again. However, there is a lighter footstep. And you can hear like the breathing, warm breathing, and you can smell the sweat. It's a living being.
Is it with them?
It's with them, yeah. It's like kind of in the center of them. Did you want to try and get closer? Like right now you have the cover, and that's what you can make out. If you want to get closer and risk being seen, and potentially just potentially starting off everything with you immediately. Otherwise, you can head back to your group, let them know, and you guys will have an advantage going into that encounter.
I'm gonna head back and let the group know. As much as I want to solo the horde of undead.
Okay. So you make your way back. You let them know that there is a pack up ahead.
And that they have someone alive with them. And that could mean any number of things. I'm going to put my money on a caster, though. Too late on their feet for a warrior.
Okay. So, did you guys want to do? You guys have prior warning. You guys can either. They seem to be kind of coming towards the general direction you guys are coming through. So, did you guys what did you want to do?
Can we set up an ambush?
I was about to say that.
Okay. Describe the ambush. You have fairly large trees on each side. You have portions of stones that's been driven in, kind of ceremoniously, in a ceremonial manner around the tree roots to create like interesting patterns that the roots will grow around. You can tell that's actually where the burial portions are. So the trees give you decent cover and hiding space. The stones probably will not, unless you're Ario, in which case you can kind of hide amongst them because they are kind of low lying. There is enough mist here to mask your passage to some degree. Describe the ambush?
Put a caster on either side of the road, arranged on either side of the road. So we've got Cinder and Ario on opposite sides, Callen and Al on opposite sides, and me and Rannulfr on opposite sides. And we'll wait for them to get between the two groups, and then me and Rannulfr will close ranks.
hide in the trees until they get there.
Yeah.
Yeah, half group on either side.
Is that what everyone's doing? Al? Cal?
Squishy's up in the trees.
Yeah, sure. I'll take the Sigrun's lead on this.
Oh, I was muted. Yeah, no, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on the ground though, like behind, like in the rocky area, just so I have more mobility if I need it.
I don't know that I would risk going up into the trees because we don't know how far in those shadowy things are, and really want one of the squishies falling out of a tree.
It's fair.
I just
Okay.
duck behind a tree as a squishy.
Okay. If that's what is going to happen, you guys, as you hide, I want a round of stealth checks.
Hmm.
And I'm taking the average. And you
19.
guys
4.
have a little bit of time, so it's
Wow.
Shit, okay.
not bad.
Cal does not want to be seen.
Ooh, Ario. Ooh.
Wow.
Oh,
Did
no.
I out stealth Ario? I mean, he
You
rolled a
out-stealth
4.
the
I
rogue?
outself Ario.
I
Damn.
mean, admittedly, he rolled a 4. And I rolled
Okay.
a 20, but I'll take it.
Well, only one poor.
I'm fine with
One
Just being me rolling a 4.
Yeah.
Ooh, 21.
There's only one really low roll, so that's actually a good thing for us, I think.
I'd rather Ario roll the 4 than myself.
Yeah,
To
probably.
be fair, so
So you guys all spread out. Sigrun is, for her to be effective, she does have to be kind of close. And Rannulfr is a little more effective on the back end where he can engage at longer distances. So she's the first one up. So you know that like she's the make it or break it person. She's most likely to be seen, but she's also like one of the 2 people who is best to actually be seen and immediately engage in direct. So that's not too bad of a trade off there. And you guys hide off and break off into the woods in different pairs and are waiting. The group comes into view, and it is, as I've said, a group of undead, and what does seem like one person who seems to be holding like has a backpack, or rather, it's a harness, and it is a swathed bundle of cloth and leather straps on his back, maybe 4 foot tall, give or take. And that he seems to be kind of laboring under the weight of. It doesn't look particularly heavy, and he's not falling over, but he does seem to be feeling it. Like it does weigh a good number of pounds. And he has a staff that he is using to kind of help move him along. And he is trudging up the road, keeping his eyes out, you can tell, but he seems to be a little tired. And then walks straight past Sigrun and that group. He's in the center of the group, so Sigrun, like it's like he's surrounded and protected by the core of the undead swarm, and the swarm itself.
How many feet deep is the swarm to where he is?
Like it's a little looser. He doesn't have it like shoulder to shoulder, but it is it shifts. The thinnest portion it gets to is maybe 10 foot, and the thickest portion, if a group of the skeletons kind of overtakes the zombies, will kind of shift to like about 30 feet. It varies.
Okay.
So he is generally within the ambush section.
Does the guy look like he wants to be there? Like, does he look like he's like here against his own will?
You can make an insight check.
Hey, not bad.
You see that he is geared to be here. He has like very hardy travel material and combat ready portions. He has like daggers. He has easy to reach what looks like a couple of vials of dirt on his belt. He looks tired, not scared, or at least not outwardly scared. He has a sense of unease to him, and you can tell that he has a very large distaste for what's on his back, but it's not fear. He's supposed to be here. You can tell.
I would like to move first. I want to wait until there is a 10-foot crowd between me and him.
Okay.
Take a running start and jump over them and onto him. I have a
Okay.
crazy fucking long jump now. So
You have a long
and
jump?
high jump.
Hmm.
My high jump
Okay.
is 18 feet.
Holy
Okay.
crap, that is insane. Jeez.
So, here's what I'm going to say. What does everyone want to do? You guys had your ambush, so you know what you guys are planning to do. So, if you need to coordinate something amongst each other right now, do it now. You guys have the time. You guys have the first round of what you want to do. Specifics, and you're going to have an advantage in doing it.
So
I would have shifted while we were setting up. I want to close between me and him. I want to shut him down before he can either get off a spell or get off whatever the hell is on his back. That's my goal.
It's probably also good for me to shoot at him because my sneak attack is going to be really good burst damage.
Yep.
And I will, I'll shoot last after everybody's already gone because that's really all that I'm going to do. So.
I mean, we're going to need people to deal with the horde around
Yeah,
him. I can bypass a lot of them, but
I don't really have
like
an
the
ability
horde.
to do that, though, is the problem.
I mean, you have cantrips and stuff, but you may just want to reserve in case we need heals.
Yeah. Well, I want to do something in that first round of initiative, though. I mean, at the very least, I want to do one thing, before I focus on just healing, because we got the jump on them, so I might as well do something for that round. So I will probably firebolt, dude.
Okay.
I was like, don't fireball, you can't make us immune to that.
No. Yeah, I don't even
No, I mean, you
That
can
would be
lead
bad.
off with a fireball.
Yeah.
Lead with a fireball, and then Sigrun jumps in as a fire ending, and you're like, okay, surprise.
Jump into the fire.
It's pretty cool, but yeah, not a thing I can do.
Okay. So we have Ario, Cal, and Sigrun taking a shot at the guy in the center. Sigrun, you have to decide now: are you going for the guy, or are you going for the package on his back? This is a coordinated action, so.
I mean, it's on his back, so I figured I was trying to separate him from it.
Okay. That brings us to Al and Rannulfr. What did you guys want to do?
I'm just going to go in and start laying in and trying to cut his way through to the center guy.
Okay. Are you calling upon your ancestors for this?
Yeah.
I mean, you get your rages at the end of a short, so.
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Nope.
That
got 4
sucks.
Barbarians are a long rest class. Are you? So you're calling upon your ancestors?
So this is a guy and a similar swarm that we saw before.
Yes.
Yes.
Then I'm not. I don't see this as an enormous.
Okay.
threat.
Al.
Storm Spear.
Storm Sphere? Okay. So, you guys all have advantage on your first round of checks. We're not going to bother with damage. Using a 4th level spell as Storm Sphere, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Using one of those will net you advantage on your subsequent check for this encounter. So, currently it is 6 success, 3 failure. So, as this guy gets into position, Sigrun, you do have advantage. Make me an athletics check.
22.
So, you guys all look to each other from your various hiding spots. It gets into distance, and you hear a tremendous cracking sound as Sigrun, you see her slingshotting herself between 2 of the trees, running forward before leaping into the air and sailing clean over the turgidly reacting undead and landing on all fours directly beside the guy who is just starting to turn around, staff like starting to spark with magic. And Sigrun, you strike at him, hit him, and with the other clawed hand, hit the strap on his backpack on his side and rip the two apart. The guy goes flying and is hits the back of the swarm that is now starting to turn around. You are still directly on him, and the pack goes sailing into the swarm itself. That brings us to who wants to go next?
I'll take my shot at him.
Okay, so make an attack roll.
Okay. 27.
Yep. And as he's coming up, he takes an arrow to the neck. You can see that there is a flicker of arcane ward that does stop it from immediately going through and through, but you can see that blood squirts out before he grabs at it, and you can see the sizzling of like necrotic scar tissue before he manages to just barely cauterize the wound from instantly dying and losing blood pressure and fainting. And he is looking pretty bad already. Next.
Rannulfr going to lay into the swarm.
Okay. And as this entire group has kind of fallen into chaos and pandemonium, as Sigrun, you are pressing down towards the guy with the staff, the rest of the undead horde is starting to turn around, and it's the perfect time for you, Rannulfr, as you come from the front portion and start sweeping through them. Make an athletics check. You do have advantage.
Advantage athletics 21.
Yep. And you are using your giant glaive to great avail as you are either just smashing through skeletons and cutting through the zombies, sweep by sweep, getting 5, like a handful each time, and you are carving your way from the other side as Sigrun's in the center, causing absolute chaos. And the swarm is now starting to react. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's next?
Storm Sphere.
Storm Sphere. You have advantage. He is going to. No. Can you make me an spellcasting check, please?
A spellcasting check.
Or your spell attack roll, really.
Oh.
That's all it is. You have advantage. Yeah. You drop the storm sphere directly in the center of this giant group. The undead that are not being swept away by Rannulfr are swept off their feet and being bludgeoned around into each other. You can see the lightning crackling in the center of this portion. You can feel the magic striking into the man who with the staff who is trying to fend off Sigrun with the staff and also with various magics that he's barely able to half cast. Okay. 6th. Cal.
Well, I guess that's me. So, yeah, I'm going to blast him with that firebolt.
Okay.
There.
Yep.
Oh.
And with that,
Okay.
you take your aim. You see the guy like staff to hold back Sigrun just barely. You can see the sparks of like necrotic magic trying to strike towards Sigrun, and you can see like a scythe-like appendage appearing from one end, trying to drive it into her face, and she is holding his arm, but he's using his body weight to try and push it towards her. And you line up your shot. You have your hand outstretched, and you let loose with a bolt of fire that takes him in the side of the head and blows the entire head clean off. Just blows, like literally just explodes it over Sigrun.
Nice.
And that's it. Yeah, like he goes down, and then with
you're getting covered in gore one way or another.
Yeah, with Rannulfr, with the Storm Sphere, with Sigrun, with all of you in the pretty much the perfect place for this ambush. You guys are able to mop up the rest of the undead without any significant injury.
Good. Very
Hot
good.
damn. Go
There you
us.
go.
Yeah, my skills suck when it comes to skill challenges like this. Freaking persuasion and insight and religion and medicine. None of that stuff's super useful here. So Firebolt. Did the trick.
Firebolt.
Firebolt.
Hey, when in doubt, man.
You know
Always
it.
use
There's-
fire.
know it.
The Faela of dealing
Always-
with problems.
Always
use
kill it with fire. Seems reasonable to me.
Oaf.
I say we keep going.
Yeah.
But when we get to a point where we can, if I can catch a short rest, I'll get my transforms back.
And I'd get some hit points back, and that'd be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
and I could heal some of the fucking damage I took from Guild.
Well,
Yeah,
you
I've been
guys,
kind of holding back on the healing, but if you want me to, just say the word.
I'm not super stressed about it right now.
Do you want to keep going or find a short rest now?
Let's push on for now, maybe.
Yeah. Time is
Same.
not on our side, so.
Okay. Same formation.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
Keep ranging.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep up my hybrid form as much as I can.
You keep it up for as long as you can, which is good. I do need you to make me once again another perception check.
With
This is
advantage?
with advantage. This is after you've made a good distance and headway away from the site of battle.
Did we see what was in the pack?
Did you want to look what's in
Yeah,
that was in the
Yeah,
pack?
I want to know what they're bringing against us.
Probably that poisonous mist crap that melts people. That'd be my
I mean,
guess.
I don't want to. If it looks like a container, obviously we're not going to fucking open it to check what's inside of
I mean,
it.
from what you're looking at, it is like one of those harnesses meant to carry something like awkwardly shaped, like like the two L's on a metal frame, that kind of thing. And on it is a bundle of cloth, tightly swaddled. It has leather straps to make sure that the cloth doesn't move anywhere. Like the general weight, you're guessing is maybe like 60 pounds, give or take.
I mean, when we peel the cloth away, can we tell what's under it? Or is it like you peel the cloth away and it's
We
going
will have one person peel the cloth away, as the rest of the group is, 20 feet away?
So who's the one doing the investigation here? And
I'm proficient. I'm not great at it, but I'm proficient.
Al is proficient and good at it.
Al's also super squishy and doesn't have very many hit points, but if you want to take one for the team, you can feel free, bud.
He's got a death ward on him. He'll be fine.
I'll do
Fair. Okay.
Yeah, go for it.
okay. You do not have advantage on this unless Sigrun is beside you to help you. So that's your call right now.
You know what? I am. I'm going to be next to him so that he can get advantage, and if it turns out to be bad, I can pick him up and fucking run.
Okay.
Get us the
So-
hell out of Dodge.
Investigation and advantage.
Investigation
Yes.
with advantage.
1d5.
25.
Holy fuck.
Okay, you guys
That's
are high rolling
interesting.
today. This is good. This is good. You are looking at the swaddling of this, and you're like, okay, this definitely contains from the general weight of it, and you're kind of like hefting it a little bit, like the harness itself. You're like, oh, okay, that's pretty heavy. Holy crap, that's actually pretty heavy for you. And you're thinking like, okay, but the object itself is not super lopsided. It's fairly even distribution of weight. From what you're feeling into touching into the cloth very gently, you have a whole slew of information before you start peeling away the cloth. You're pretty sure with all the information you have right now, it may contain some sort of mummified body. There is a bit of give. There are hard points or of corners, and it generally fits the body shape reduced in size because it would be mummified of a vaguely humanoid shape, maybe not super tall, taller than Sigrun, shorter than you maybe, or around your height, who has full fetal position and then mummified. It's about the right kind of size.
Oh.
Did you want to peel the cloth away?
Sure. Let's do it.
Now? Okay.
I'm
So
still
both-
liking it. I'll rip it apart if it comes alive.
You grab one of your knives and slowly peel and like cut into the cloth. It's very fine, so it's fairly easy for you to cut into it easily. You take off the first layer, and you see that it has a whole bunch of different markings. It has a whole bunch of very ritualistic looking markings and places here. I need you to make me a history check, please. History or religion? Up to you.
I'm good at history.
You are on
Okay.
your own with this. I'm not good at either one of those.
18.
18. From what you can figure out here, it is show in nature. Some of the symbols here you have seen. You're from the east. You're from Arluin, so you've seen a lot of show migrants and a lot of their culture and a lot of their literature. You're not good at it. You've seen people do calligraphy. It looks cool. It has those symbols, the show symbols on it. However, the symbols themselves also look like runes. And through your magical knowledge, you can vaguely parse out that this is a containment unit of some sort. And that it is meant to contain something living.
Huh.
Wait, the body is a containment unit designed to hold something living.
We've seen that before. In a way. That's what got me.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what got a lot of us.
What?
There may be something inside the body.
What do you mean, something inside the body? It's a body.
Well, if you do the symbology on these things, you kind of like points at different runes, and this one here, it's some sort of container, a vessel, if you will.
You want my tools?
We
Get into it pretty easily, you know?
Do you want to open it up?
Oh, I don't want to. You can do it.
Well, Al is asking Sigrun, do you want to open it up, or would you like me to do it?
I am certainly not the one for this particular job. I'm not. I have wonderful hand-eye coordination, but not for fine-tuning work. But if we're going to do something surgical, I suggest you have Cal help. And I can take the opportunity to rest.
That work? Callen, would you like to come over here?
Bring the tools.
I pass over the tools.
Okay.
I'm going to move away and shift back and attempt to short rest while they.
This is
I'll
going to be
do the same.
awful.
Put your boys together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Conveniently located to maximize the
Hey,
mutilation of us.
you have death ward. You'll be fine.
It's true.
We
It's
both have
true.
death ward.
So, Al, you have Cal beside you. Both of you have your tools and hands ready. You cut open the bundle, and inside you do see that it smells sickly sweet. Doesn't smell of too much of rot. You can smell it's like slightly molding, but not too badly, which is certainly different. The body the outer limbs are, you can tell, like, has been mostly not disintegrated, just lost a lot of shape and kind of bloated a bit. But the torso, the actual body itself, like the chest cavity, is still fairly intact, and that you can see that's where the focus was here.
Okay.
You're gonna carve it open and see what's inside.
Very carefully, just like going in shallow first in case there's something just below the surface of the skin. I don't want to puncture it.
Okay.
So we're going to start slow and slowly work our way in.
Okay. Make me a medicine check, please.
Okay. That's terrible.
So you open up the chest cavity slowly, bit by bit, using the tools. And you find that as you start opening up like the stomach area, there is a bit of a hollow space. You very gently, as you pull the portion apart, .24 to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you see that a serpent
Oh boy.
has been inhabiting the inner torso. You can see that it's like the egg the size about an ostrich egg has been inserted into the chest cavity to act as like an incubator almost. And it had already hatched, but you can tell that this thing was still not in the it was still in the midst of fully growing. And as soon as you opened its casing, it lashed out at you.
Worst Jack in the Box ever.
Yeah, probably. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please. You take 7 points of piercing damage.
Oh,
That's
geez.
also bad.
Your con save is better than mine, and you still didn't.
That's because I roll like me.
That's because I roll like me. Okay, that's fucking great. I love it. You take 15 points of poison damage. The creature expires as soon as it strikes at you and hits you kind of like in the jaw, like just missing your neck as you angle your face towards it and you get bitten right in the point of the jaw. You can feel the venom spreading through your face, and you have to kind of make fast work to make sure that it doesn't reach anywhere important to kill you. However, you
close.
you do also feel that as you do so, there's like the feeling of a constricting snake goes around your hands. You can see that there are branded marks of a spiraling serpent that goes around your palm, around the front and back of your hands, and kind of goes mid wrist. And the curse of the serpent is on you.
God damn it! All right, what does that mean? Do I get to know, or is this just a horrible thing that I will find out?
This one is it's illegal in Narluin, specifically, one. And two, it's a very distinguished rite. That is kind of in a weird set of mythos for show, which is if you take a specific strain of bird, it's a very large bird of prey that is native to the show floating isles, and you let it sit within the coils of a giant serpent for a year and a day. And then at the moment of life and death, it may hatch into a being that has the tiniest of chances of ascending into a dragon. And that it's dragon myth. And dragon myth is always related to magic. That's why you kind of know it. That's what they said. You're not sure if any of these ever worked. They are notoriously tight-lipped about this. And you realize that was exactly what this might have been. The setup of exactly what was happening here. This person probably volunteered for this and was kept alive as long as they could in this state of dying, to try and give this thing this chance. And the serpent has expired. It is dead. Body is on the ground. It is a physical being. Cal, you are looking at your hands. You can see that the tattoo markings around your hands and fingers. You can feel that you have become the feeling and pressure on your hands has become like a snake, like a large snake is squeezing down on them at all times.
Ugh.
You currently have dexterity checks at a disadvantage.
Okay.
You can tell that this will, thankfully, this thing did seem and feel premature. So it's not it's not strong enough to make it permanent, but it is going to last for minimum a couple hours. You're looking at it.
Okay. I mean,
or you can
that's
try to burn it out.
I mean, when you say burn it out, what exactly are you meaning? Like in terms of you talking about the poison or the curse or?
Oh no, the poison's gone. The poison you managed to neutralize.
Okay.
It did screw up your face a little bit, but you do manage to heal it.
Not my face.
Not your face.
Okay.
The curse. You can probably try to burn it out using something like remove curse.
Yeah, I don't have it though, so I'm gonna have to just suffer for the next couple hours or a few hours, anyways. However long it takes, I'm fine with it. It'll be fine.
So this investigation, to Cal's credit, only took like 15 minutes, as it's a fairly straightforward one. He was just opening up the body. So there is a dead serpent on the ground, and that's pretty much about it.
I would just like to throw out there that while this was happening, Rannulfr and Sigrun sitting in the back and kind of lightly joking that it's the squishies' turn to get infected by dead bodies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
they were.
I imagine it's like he's like, man, I wonder if they're gonna be okay. And so he just Cal's like, fuck, snake, fuck.
Despite herself, Sigrun is chuckling under her breath. For once, it's not me.
I could use a short rest, honestly.
Yeah, same.
Because
there's a few of us who could use some hit points back, and
because I have 7.
Oh,
yeah. Let's definitely.
Yeah, let's do that.
Jesus
That was
Christ,
Oh, I'm sorry,
dude.
16. No, it's 16, but that's still really low.
Still really low.
Still, yeah.
Yeah, those zombies got me pretty good at the beginning. So, I haven't actually done a short rest in a while. I just basically roll a number of hit dice.
Yes.
Okay.
But these you want.
As many as you want. You can roll them one at a time. So you guys are stopping for an hour to rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Anything you guys wanted to do? Because like resting in the middle of, I don't want to say nowhere, but just here is I mean it's the roads, and you know that they're watching the road. So
Yeah.
Anyone good enough to keep watch?
Yeah, I don't need to rest at all.
Because you're immortal.
Very least, yeah.
Yep. He's immortal.
Shh, why do I keep on pushing the wrong button?
So I'll definitely keep watch the whole time. I'll hide myself and just kind of keep an eye out the best I can.
Me with my 3s.
Wow, that's I'm exactly at my cap.
Does Al want to do something with the baby dragon corpse?
Baby
Do we want to take that?
I can put it in my bag.
God, what the fuck?
You are not.
Why is this happening? This is awful.
You're the next reincarnation of Will Wheaton.
Oh my god.
Accepted and move on.
I have to. I don't have a choice anymore. Oh, there's a 6.
I mean, Al, if you want to carry the body of a dead snake, prematurely born dead snake, yeah, you can.
I actually did not need to spend 2 of those hit points or hit dice.
Fucking kidding me now?
Or rather, Al, you go to pick it up and you're like, okay, I might be able to do something with it. And then you look at it and it's like, no, it must have been a trick of the eyes. Wait, no. No. Swear to God, what's going on? You're looking at the body. And it's maybe because you're holding it. It might be the last death throes it has. You're not sure. It's slightly twitching in your hands.
That's
unsettling.
Not good, probably.
You're not sure. You're looking at it. It's like you're kind of like looking at his face, making sure that your head. I mean, his eyes are still kind of like staring unblinkingly. It is a snake after all. It's kind of. It's there. It's You're looking into his face, and it might be looking back at you. You're not sure.
You only have 9 hit die. What are you doing?
Rolling badly. Ultra badly. That's all 9 of my hit dice that I've rolled, mind you.
Jesus. We have
So-
got to get you Mending Affinity on the next ASI.
Al, what are you doing?
Al is gonna like take the snake and like kind of like look around and notice Sigrun sitting there, and then kind of like point like the face at her and be like, "Sigrun, does this look dead to you?"
It looks dead. Is there some concern that it's not?
You could, just cut its head off or something.
I can feel it move.
Yeah, you might want to do that.
Bring it here.
It's going to like slowly like bring it over and like put it in front of her and like step back a couple of feet.
She's gonna grab the head with one hand and take the head off of the body with the other with one of her axes.
Yep, just-
And then nice clean cut and then hand it back. Here you go.
Is it twitching still, Matt?
You have the nice head. The body is oozing viscera and blood. It might still be twitching. Al, you're like looking at it, like the head is definitely not moving. So you're like, okay. Kind of like put it off to the side. You're looking at the body. It's like you swear it's like it's still just minutely twitching.
Does it look like it's switching to me? With my sharp ass senses?
I mean, to you, no, it doesn't look like it's moving. But also, Al, you can tell like it is. It's as if someone is. It's a pressure almost on your finger. You can tell like it's not nearly enough to really be visible.
Against my better judgment, Al is going to take one of the scalpels, and just kind of run it down the length of the body and open up the snake.
Oh dear God.
You just see a whole bunch of snake viscera. And that's it.
Nothing special, nothing that looks unsnake-like.
Everything looks mostly vaguely snake-like. There are some vestigial portions within the back and the like along the center of the back and the front portion, like kind of the point where it would hit like the first 1/3 and the second 1/3 of the body from the tail and the head. Those 2 points have like vestigial bone segments that are kind of embedded with the muscle that you can kind of see now that since you've like cut it in half or cut it down lengthways. But that's about it. There's nothing in it other than viscera.
Al will keep the head, but looking at the body, produce flame, light on fire.
All right. So you take a little bit of the rest that everyone seems to be getting, like an hour-long sit down, pass some food around and take a deep breather, and bind up whatever wounds you have. You take a bit of that time to like properly start burning the body. It smells good. It's like cooked snake. You haven't had cooked snake, but it smells edible.
I don't think it's a good idea.
No.
If you want my opinion.
Al will resist the urge to try the cooked snake.
All right.
Given what that damn thing just did to me.
There's a pang of regret, but the body burns into curls up, and then you finally get it to a point that it is like charred and brittle bone, where you kind of snap it out, and it's just ash and fragments of bone left. That's it. You still have the head though. You during rest, you know how to do this. You take a little pin scalpel and start kind of like scramble the inside of the head a little bit so you can get all the brain fluid out, so it's not going to be dripping as you carry it. The short rest. Ario, make me a perception check, please.
I'm really good at those.
You are quite. You're amazing at those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Ario, keeping an eye out. You're not seeing anything particularly approaching. You are keeping yourself to the edges of the campment and venturing farther away from them so that you have a bit of time to react. You're not seeing anything too far out of the ordinary, at least in terms of any kind of creature heading towards you or towards your general position. So, all of you finish up your rest as all of you finish up your rest as you guys have now dressed your wounds, had a sit down, had a little bite to eat, had something to drink, and you feel invigorated and ready to continue moving and traversing the path to get to where Cinder has been trying to lead you to. And you guys also do find that Cinder is uncharacteristically more solemn and grim than usual. And he seems to be a bit a little bit closed off from you guys, you can tell. However, you guys move forward. I'm guessing you guys are doing your normal.
Yep.
Okay. And Sigrun, I want you to make me a perception check, please. You do have advantage.
16.
16.
Oh, I didn't say before, but I think it kind of goes without saying, considering where we are, that I am tracking dead.
Undead, yeah. You feel that the air is unnaturally still and that the mists have stopped moving. You can see that the swirls do not continue moving, and that there is something within this vicinity that is a little off-putting here.
Okay.
And you can see the Cinder and the Raven kind of like not directly behind you, but he's leading. You can feel that there is a deep thrum that is going through the ground, and there is a you can feel with each thrum the mist seems to be receding a little bit.
Does it feel like it's coming from him?
From Cinder, no.
Does he seem to register it the way that I do?
He seems to be pretty lost in his own thoughts, and also keeping track of the Raven and making sure that the Raven doesn't lose the group. So he has his own job to do, which is leading you guys through these paths, because you're seeing multiple paths on multiple crossroads and multiple winding portions that he is leading you through fairly deftly.
Okay. I am going to loop back and warn him and the party that there's something here that's off, but I can't tell what it is. And that the mists aren't acting the way that they normally do. There's no swirls, it's just still, too still. And then go back to ranging out once they know that there's a potential for a threat.
Okay. You continue forward out, and I need you to make me another perception check, please. And I'm gonna say
Natural 20.
Cal. I need you to make me an insight check as well. Okay. So you see Sigrun go back out, come back in. She looks a little different, a little more quiet. You don't know why, but she seems to be not as characteristically sure of her not convictions, but of her current job. Like, when she gets when she is on a job, when she knows what she's doing, she has absolute surety of, yes, this is what's going to happen. That sense of assuredness is not quite there. And then you see that Sigrun leave again. And then, Sigrun, you hear a very, very quiet set of footprints stepping away from the group as you were turning away and returning back to your group.
I'm gonna go after the footprints, probably thinking that somebody has broken off from the pack when they shouldn't have.
Yeah, you run after the footprints and you see that there is a translucent figure turning back from what seemed to have been your visage and turning back invisible. And you can see that figure, as it is trying to step away from you. You can still track where it is, although it is invisible and it is moving through the mist. So it is, where it is. It would be hard for you to catch it or strike it. It is invisible and it is amongst the mist. But you know where it is, and it can tell that it is actually moving away from you and kind of trying to circle around again.
I'm going to kind of loop back to the party.
Okay.
Did you all see me like a minute ago?
Yeah.
That wasn't me.
Okay.
I saw it too, but then it disappeared.
Didn't seem like you.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Okay. Do we want to stay together then?
We should definitely stay together then, but now that he's probably bringing, it is probably bringing reinforcements, would be my guess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of move up to where Center is.
Okay.
You gave Rannulfr a gift in your home. Do you remember? What was it?
Does he still
Out of
have it?
character, if you don't remember, I can tell you.
I'm not the discs.
No, not the discs. It was very specifically a gift for Rannulfr.
Yes, please do remind me.
You gave him a statue made of his own blood.
Ah, yes.
Yep.
Cintra looks at you. Just, yes, I gave all of you a gift.
Yes, but you gave one specifically to him.
Yes.
What was it?
Something of whimsy, blood. You can see that he's thinking about it, like in a vague.
Can
I
I
don't
insight?
remember what it is. Yeah, sure. He seems to be trying hard to remember exactly what it was. He looks a little confused, although now that he's heard what Sigrun has had to say, he looks alarmed, and you can tell that he's trying to remember what that was.
I need to know that it's you. What was the first thing I did when we woke up after the fight with the necromancer? To you, specifically.
I believe, under the threat of getting my face punched in, I am not supposed to divulge.
All right. It's you. Okay. She very visibly relaxes.
Is this something that we'll need to do with everyone?
No, I think as long as we stay together, we'll be all right. But you've been different. And it worried me.
Let's just say I know of the place that we are going to be visiting first.
Anything I should know going in?
Are any of you particularly associate yourself with elven heritage? Any of you?
Not even a little.
No.
Repeat that again?
Mm.
Al kind of like half raises his hand.
Well, I mean, I meant of cultural heritage.
His hand kind of remains like halfway up there. I spent much of my time learning with my father, learning the ways of elven heritage, though I do remember that my mother was much nicer.
Well, that kindness is attributed to your mother, not to the race. Prepare yourself, then I guess. Come. We must keep moving. And you can see that center as he walks forward. The mist pulses a little bit, and he looks a little put out by it. You can see him put his hand into it and just kind of push a little bit. He looks confused. Sigrun, can you just try to walk through the mist?
Sure. I'm going to try to walk through the mist in front of him.
You walk forward. It feels like you just hit a well-padded, spongy barrier before it like you make about 5 foot into the mist before you feel like you hit like the mist itself condenses to a point that it is solid.
Oh. That's not good.
No,
Am I stuck?
you're not stuck. You can.
I just can't move
stuff.
forward anymore.
He looks to Ario.
Yeah?
Would you, if you wouldn't mind moving forward as well?
I can give it the old try.
Mhm. You walk forward, and you can see that Ario can pass straight through the mist. No problem.
What the? Alright. What in the nine hells is going on?
You know what's the issue here? Kind of like waving my hands through the part that looked solid.
My guess is they're keeping followers of the Raven Queen out through some kind of...
This is mist. This is the mists of this plane is sacred. It's not just water. This is energy. This is
Well, they seem to have claimed it.
no. It is the very essence. It's the very heart of this place. They couldn't have, not yet. Not without everything else.
Could it be a clue?
From the Raven Queen?
I mean, if they could not have taken control of it, that means there's only one person.
Yeah, that would. Perhaps, yes, that might be it. That may be it. And then you can see that there is movement from behind the mist. And
No, I'm looking.
yeah, here. You guys, the figure is not trying to be discreet. Ario, you back to your group. And you see that it is a human. No, this is a this is a elven heritage, half-elf, elven heritage person who is limping up, who seems to have pretty terrible burns across the front of their body, and is limping. You can see that there are multiple arrows lodged into the leg and the back and the hip area, and he is making his way forward, just and his eyes seem kind of unseeing before they lock with you guys. No more. Oh, thank. Oh God! And you can see that he moves forward before he hits his head first into that same barrier you hit. What?
Can I?
From
Is
the other
he too
side?
far away, or can I grab him?
He's behind the same portion that you were stopped at.
He's on the other side.
He's on the other side.
Do we recognize this?
No,
How about those arrows? Do they look familiar?
the arrows look familiar. Yeah.
Sigrun's just gonna let out a little half growl.
I'm just
Alright. This isn't fucking funny.
He is striking at the mist, and you can actually see that the portions where he's trying to touch the mist curls in, and it's solid. And you can see that he's trying to push against it, looking so confused. You see him pull out a small obsidian raven like token, looking at it, just kind of whispering to it, "What's going on? I thought, please." And he holds it up. What are you gonna do?
I'll try to. Can I step through?
You can step through.
I'll step through and get around him to try to interpose if anything else comes at him,
Okay.
just to try to make this safe so he doesn't die right now.
Yeah. As you step through, he looks at you a little. He looks at you actually very alarmed. He does have what looks to be a short sword, kind of that he had partially on his belt. He takes it out. He's like ready to fight you. You can tell that
Relax, he's one of mine.
But he just, what's going on?
He doesn't follow her. This is only reacting to us.
Apparently, is there something chasing you?
There's. Yes. It's been hunting us one by one like a fucking game. It's the Avatar. It's powerful. We were told to go in groups to make sure that we don't get separated, to make sure that the mission can continue on, but we weren't enough. It knows where you are by death. It has already claimed a piece of this world. And it knows that. It knows.
Can I focus on the mist and see if I can try to get it to show me its secrets? Like maybe if there's something hidden here that'll react to us, I can compel it to tell me what the fuck is going on or show me what it's supposed to be doing.
I have a thought, and I don't know. Well, let's see if this works. But I have a secondary thought if it doesn't.
Sigrun, you put your hand up. You try to compel the mist. You try to compel, and you see Center is kind of doing the same thing. Both of you, there's nothing that's happening. There's no answers that's given. The mist itself is reacting by itself.
So I'm going to go through the mist to the guy who's got the arrows in him. Can we try one thing? That token that you carry.
Yes?
Can you give it to me and then try to pass the barrier? I promise I will treat it with the utmost respect.
Yeah, sure. And he hands it to you. He puts his hand against the barrier. He is still stuck.
Ah, okay. Was worth a try. I hand it back to him.
Okay. What's going on? I don't understand.
Can I walk slightly along the barrier? Like put my hand against it and walk along the side and see if there's an end to it at all? I don't want to get too far away, obviously, but...
Mm-hmm. You walk along. It seems to curve out. You walk to the very edge of the road, where you can tell that the road and the off the road. meets. And the barrier's still there.
Is it a curve or a line?
It's curves. It follows the general shape of the mist here. And you can see that the sky inside is still looking really confused. Sinter is looking very confused. Cal, I actually need you to do something for me. Make an intelligence check.
Okay. Not amazing at that, but I'll give it a shot.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I should have said wisdom. Wisdom check. Wisdom check.
Okay.
Plus 5 or whatever.
So that would be, add 3 to that then. Unless
Okay.
you want me to just re-roll. So it's either a 14 or re-roll.
Sure. Reroll.
Okay.
Okay.
Not bad.
Nope, not bad. Not bad at all.
You are looking at this guy after you have the little token in your finger. Give it back. As he reaches forward, you immediately see it. There is a very well hidden deep puncture wound underneath his armpit. Deep puncture wound.
How did you get that?
He looks down. It's just a wound. They're everywhere. They come from all angles. They come from everywhere. I can't. He just kind of looks down, looks at his burnt, arrow-ridden, wound-covered body.
Is there anything out of the ordinary with that particular wound?
From how much blood stain is around the armor, that wound is deep. He shouldn't be standing. He should be dying or dead from blood loss at the very least.
Okay. Insights check on him to see whether he's trying to hide anything when I ask him about the injury.
Yeah, go for it. He's not trying to hide anything. He is very curiously not making much facial expression. You are seeing that his lips do not quite match up to exactly when his speech ends and begins.
Okay. I don't know what that means. But it's weird.
And you can see the guy just kind of continue to press forward, looking back, and you can hear that there is deep thudding footsteps that's getting closer and closer from the mist, deeper in the mist. And he looks back, and he looks frightened as he pushes his back against the barrier, and you can see the mist solidifying on his back so that he cannot move past it. And he puts his arms up. He has a short sword kind of in his hand and ready, just, it's here. It found me.
I don't want to waste it, but I'm going to. I'm going to see whether my healing hands will do anything to him.
Okay.
So, gain a number of hit points equal to level.
Okay, equal to level.
Yep.
Your healing hands has no effect.
Yeah, he's dead. But I needed to confirm it for myself.
You can hear each footstep is getting closer. Sigrun Sinter is, you can see him concentrating. You can see that he is slowly pushing the mist in and then being forced back out.
Callen Rannulfr, back over here, please.
Okay.
Now.
Yep. Sure.
Yeah, I will. I'll start moving through, and then I will just say to the guy, "I'm sorry, but you shouldn't still be alive."
What do you mean?
I mean, you're dead. Somehow you're still moving.
No, that can't be it. No.
It's the only thing that I can think of that explains all of this.
Then he's looking around, still holding his sword. You can see that a single, looks like a tendril of shadow lashes out grabs him by the chest and yanks him deeper into the mist.
It's the Avatar. It must have gotten him on its way to eat this realm. Another lost soul.
So, when I got to the edge of the path, was that like where the barrier ended, or did it keep going?
Yeah, the mist extends past the road and into the off of the road. So you can tell that it was extending further and further. Although now you see that as the person disappears into the mist, Cinder stumbles forward as barrier seems to have disappeared.
It's
It was keeping them there so that it could find them and feed on them. Now that it's claimed him, the barrier seems to be gone. That's my guess.
Quite possibly.
not good.
No,
None of this is good.
this is all quite terrible.
Well, let's keep going.
Yes.
Yes.
Finally. Cal, can you roll me a d6, please?
Oh no.
Oh no, I have to roll a die. I'm doomed.
Doom. 4.
Doom.
Doom. Okay. So, as you guys continue moving forward once more, are you guys sticking together?
Oh
You guys
yeah.
spreading
Yes.
out?
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
together.
sticking together.
If there's an avatar of death around,
Okay.
Avatar of Orcus, not death.
You guys stick together. You guys move forward, and as you guys walk forward, there is a shift. Like the temperature of the mist slightly changes, and it starts moving again, like it is swirling. Looks normal, and if anything, it actually feels a little lighter. Like it's not nearly as heavy. You can see that it looks a little cloudy and wispy. At this point, looking around, you can vaguely see the surroundings from behind the mist. It's getting more and more, or a lot less traditional methods of burial and much more naturalistic. You are seeing almost like pits that have been dug in. You can, as you pass by one, you look down and you do see there's just a lot of bones, but you can see that there are very beautifully and carefully grown into the side of the trees and very gently worn into the side of the rocks. There are glyphs to kind of help. You get the feeling of sanctuary here. It's not carelessness, but rather this is a feeding place for various animals to partake. It is a much more naturalistic way of a burial rite. And as you continue moving forward, seeing all of this, Ario,
Yes.
there's something wrong. You immediately get the feeling that the gut feeling that there is something that doesn't quite match here.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone else right now doesn't seem to have. They are continuing to eyes out forward. You're the only person who's this is going to be an investigation check or perception, up to you.
Could I try Arcana? Is something magically wrong, perhaps?
Unfortunately, no. This is
Okay.
this is like you're trying to make sense. You haven't,
Okay.
right? You're starting off blank slate. Magic's not going to help you.
12.
Looking around, you take a deep breath and you can smell Sigrun covered in blood. You can hear the various footfalls of different people around, and can see portions through the mist Like shapes are a little bit clearer. You can feel the crunching of the gravel underneath your feet. You can smell there's a scent of the bone from the pits and the flowers that grow nearby. And looking around, you are the forest itself isn't full of naturalistic life, but it has the whisperings and the murmurings of one, as if it does. And you can hear the raven kind of shuffling its feathers a little bit, and you realize something. The mist has been dampening a lot of your senses so far.
Mm-hmm.
This is why are you like you're slowly, it's starting to slowly set in. Why are you able to suddenly smell not Sigrun blood of Sigrun, because she's covered in it, that's yeah, but why can you kind of start like smelling like the her equipment almost? It feels like your senses are very, very heightened right now. You don't know why. And Cal,
Yes.
investigation check or perception check, as you also feel like, oh, there is something off here. And you look at Ario, and he looks a little bit unsure, as both of you are kind of looking around, looking to each other, like both of you have noticed something here. You're not quite sure what's going on.
All right. Not good.
Cal, for you, you can hear the creaking of the branches. There is a wind that does go through the outer off the road portions. You can swear you can almost hear a malignant whispering amongst the shadows of those trees further off. You can see that Rannulfr, he looks fine. Although you're looking at him, it's like he's gonna have a couple of nasty looking bruises at certain points here. And you're looking at Center. He looks deep in thought. Very specifically, he looks deep in thought in a way that he's trying desperately to not remember everything. But it's still coming back to him anyway. Through the haze of the mist, you're able to pick this out, and you realize your senses are much sharper than they usually are. The mist was giving you trouble looking around, even seeing, like you could see the images of the silhouette of your companions fairly easily, but seeing minute details to the point that you can pick out their facial expressions to that degree, that wasn't happening.
Does anybody else feel that?
Yeah,
What?
Feel what?
the mist is doing something odd. It's like making everything
Sharper, more
focused.
detailed. Yeah.
Instead of masking things, it's amplifying it. It almost feels like.
Sigrun just looks confused.
You don't feel that?
No.
No. Nothing.
Now, could I do an Arcana check though? Because I'm kind of like focusing on it. Like it's definitely the mist doing this. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make an Arcana check. At this point, you're like, okay,
Holy crap.
there's something going on. You're running through the different portions. You're thinking about it. It's a very obscure thing. You look to Rannulfr. Ask Rannulfr about what he's experiencing right now.
Rannulfr, what are you feeling?
Misty?
Rannulfr?
What am I feeling?
Yeah, for you, you are like looking around. You can pick out the various portions. You're pretty sure that in the woods there are definitely things amongst the shadows. You can see them. You can see them moving around. The mist itself is much lighter than usual, so that you can see further. Sounds are very amplified, and Randolph, as you kind of start listing off various attributes and the things that you're literally just kind of going through in your head, Ario, you're starting to put the pieces together. You're pretty sure that's not Randolph's senses. You put together the pieces. Everyone in this mist has this current sensory perception of Sigrun.
Oh.
Oh, holy shit!
That's
They're that's why they were like, that's why the people didn't have to begin with, were immediately like, what the fuck's going on?
That's why Sigrun didn't notice, because she is always like that.
Yeah, Sigrun is that Sigrun's baseline is everyone's. So she didn't even have a chance to know, because nothing's different for her. But Ario, you're putting the pieces together a bit more. Why would this be a thing? And then you realize something. One of the senses wasn't quite true. You take a bit of a sniff. Yeah, you can smell your lunch in your bag. That's insane. You concentrate on your ears. You can hear the trees creaking from quite a far away, and you can actually identify what's creaking. You can see far past, through the mist very clearly, and anything that has any sort of movement, you're immediately able to lock onto, pretty much know exactly where it is. And your sense, smell, taste is a little weird. You're not sure. Maybe you have a way of testing that. You just kind of lick your finger, and you're like, yeah, huh. But when you do lick your finger, you realize that you have no sense of touch. There's no tactile sense at all.
what the?
Oh,
It's a little bit troubling. Sigrun, poke your finger.
I will poke my finger.
Yeah. Now that you're really concentrating on it, there's no real tactile sensation. You can still. The mist has kind of left you guys a little disconnected, right? You can feel the crunching of the gravel, and you can hear it at the same time. And you guys didn't quite realize that maybe you were getting used to it. Maybe you're zoning out and concentrating on everything else, but the crunching of the gravel was not accompanied by the same kind of pressure on your feet. There is no tactile sense. It feels like you guys are numb. And
Do we need to worry about melting right now? I'm just saying that. I'm saying that in character.
Does anyone look like they're melting?
well, Ario, you were looking around and you're thinking, well, this is definitely some sort of magic. It has to be. So you get the first saving throw.
Oh no!
Yeah, okay.
I hate it when you're right, Oz.
Yeah, I hate it when I'm right too.
This is a intelligence saving throw.
Oh, okay.
Intelligence?
I'm good at those.
All right, Ario, you think you root out your senses. You start isolating them, and then you figure out this is it. This is why it's happening. You fight against it. It's like an illusion. You break it. You take 12 points of acid damage as you look down at your form, and all you can feel is pain. As looking around, your eyes are starting to burn. The mist has a very distinctive yellowish tinge to it. And everyone else, you can see that the ends of their hair, their skin, their clothing is starting to fray and burn. They do not seem to notice.
So it's like an illusion, but we're all kind of in a giant acid cloud right now. And
What?
everything is on fire on my entire body, pain-wise, not literally.
So everybody move.
Yep.
Where are we going? Tell us where we're going.
Where is not this?
I fucking love Rannulfr. Sigrun was talking to Ario. Ario's the only one who understands exactly where and what is going on, so she's looking to him to direct us where we're going to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So Ario, give me a survival check, please, as you are now trying to plot a course through the mist, which has, coincidentally, also it is very thick, it is very opaque, it is difficult for you to see, and it's also very, very chemical-like. So you try to usher them forward. You're like, go, go, go. You try to like get them to move in a direction. You're like, okay, and you get them to try and continue like moving quickly down the road. And you can feel like the acid is still like on your skin and burning in. And the longer you take at this point, you take another point of acid damage as you continue trying to usher them around. The mist is making it hard to see. There are swirls within it. You can feel the wind, that there is actually a source of wind somewhere nearby.
Mm-hmm.
You're not sure what it is. But the swirls, it is hard for you to see anything right now. And your companions are not panicking because you can see that they don't feel it, but they are getting acid burns.
So like, can anyone like dispel magic here? Maybe try that on yourself. Someone.
Sigrun's looking at Al. She is going to pick up Ario though, because Ario's the short one, so he's literally in the middle.
At the note of dispel magic, Al's gonna be like, "Oh," and
Also, do I think that would work?
You're not sure. This isn't
Go for
the
it.
magical. Yeah, the magical effect is something cookie cutter that you've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
dispel 3rd level.
The spell 3rd level. Give me an intelligence check, please.
$23.
Oh,
You are snapped out of it as you also feel the burning of acid. You take 20. Oh my god!
holy shit!
Oh no, that's real bad.
Oh man!
How does that
Wow,
happen?
that's really
Hold on,
low.
I'm screenshotting that.
I just
Hold
wanted to
on.
kill Al, apparently. You take 24 points of acid damage, and you can feel that the vapors of acid is still on your skin, and that you are going to need to neutralize it after you're out, because it is still going to continue burning. So Ario and Al, you guys are out. Everyone else is still in this thing.
I need to do the math real quick, but there's something that I said before, and I think I'm correct about it. Oh, hey Matt, you know how I said every time we get into combat, I end up with fucking 17 hit points? Guess who's at 17 fucking hit points?
17 hit points. Guess who's at 0? Pedwig.
Oh no!
Rip, Hedwig.
Rip.
So how like tall is the mist thing?
Looking up, you remember from seeing it from like the when you first stepped out, the mist was usually 10 to 15 foot. It had swells and dips in it, but usually around that range of height.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they've said that it's like an illusion and that it's hurting us while it's keeping us unaware that it's doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ravens confirmed this earlier. How would we go about trying to stop it from happening?
The Ravens confirmed that it happens. It never gave you any idea of how to use whatever
well,
you
right,
have.
no, I
is
know,
whatever you
but
have.
what I'm saying is that we're aware. We have no
Yep.
reason to doubt that this is the truth.
Mm-hmm. You can try to disbelieve what they're saying is some sort of illusory magic, but you have no basis to try and disbelieve it with, so you're going to be doing that at a disadvantage, and it's going to be more difficult for you specifically.
Okay.
Like for everyone who's still stuck in here.
Guess that's the only real option we have.
Yeah, I can't.
At least the only option I have.
Yeah, the dispel didn't seem to do the trick, so.
I mean,
It
dispelled
did
it
it
on Al.
only for Al.
So
Well,
Al,
wait.
Ario, what are you guys doing? Same with you, Rannulfr.
After be realizing it. Did they stop burning?
No.
No,
We're
they
still getting
realized
hit
that they
with
were
this.
burning. You guys don't feel any tactile senses. You guys don't have any sense of touch. So that's what's happening.
So it doesn't matter if we dispel it or not. We just need to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's physical.
Okay. Sigrun's gonna scoop up Ario, 'cause he's got short little legs,
He's
and
not the
start
slowest.
moving forward at a quick clip.
Okay.
Yep.
Hustle,
Hold.
hustle.
I will.
And she's gonna
pick up
use him as
Al,
a
I guess.
gauge.
is, he
Tell
your,
me when it stops burning.
is he your mine canary, basically?
Okay.
I mean, I'm taking damage at the same time, but just can't feel it.
So,
Uh,
Ario? What's up?
Al is going to cast Fly and go up and get out of this fucking acid fog.
Okay. So, Rannulfr, as you go over to pick up Al, you're like, lunging. He's gone. So, you're like, you look to Callen. Callen, you're like, do you want to piggyback ride?
Sure.
You
Or
don't
do you wanna
move
go
as
up
fast
after
as the
Al,
rest of
either
us,
way?
so
You have the option, Cal.
Yeah.
It'll be faster.
Yeah, I only move at 30, so faster is better.
That'll put us all above 30. So
Okay. So, Ario, you're grabbed by Sigrun. Cal, you piggyback on Rannulfr. Ario, you see Rannulfr and Sigrun running. And they run forward. And they're running at an angle. And they end up starting to run backward back into a circle. I need you to make another survival check, please.
what the F?
17 this
Okay.
time.
So at this point, you are pretty much like guiding Sigrun as best as you can, like giving her very visceral directions of your arm, like giving her very like, go this way, no, now this way, and to you, Sigrun, he's like literally leading you everywhere. He's like left, left, right, right, and you're like, what the fuck? I just want to run straight. And Ario, you can see that Sigrun is literally like swerving, and you're course correcting, and you are trying to get her to run straight. And thankfully, and you are able to do that, and managing to orient yourself by the sheer like momentum inertia that you have, like that feeling of being pulled in her arms. You're like, yeah, that was the direction we just came in from, and now she's turning that way. So you managed to kind of zigzag her around, and Rannulfr's kind of following Sigrun to the point that you take another 3 points of acid damage, Ario. And finally, you all just managed to exit out the mist. For you, Sigrun and Rannulfr, nothing has changed. For you, Cal, as well, nothing has changed. You guys have finally exited through the mist, or not? You guys are continuing to traverse through the mist. Ario, you take in a deep breath and you kind of give them the all clear.
Okay, we're out of the mist now. I mean, you don't look like you're reacting, like your whole body feels like it's on fire.
No,
does not.
I feel fine.
So let's try and snap you out of that. I don't know, like I focused on the fact that it was an illusion, like I mean, magic, and I point to Callen. Like you can focus on magical effects and such, of course, right? You know how to do that sort of thing. Try and focus on the fact that you know it's magic, you know what I mean? Try and reason it in your mind.
Okay, I suppose I can try that.
Okay. So with a bit of time now, since you're not in immediate direct danger, Ario, but you do also realize that all of you are still burning. The acid there's enough of it seeped into your skin and your clothing that you're still burning. So if you guys are going to snap it, you guys have to snap it fast. Al, you flew up. You're still taking the acid damage. I'm going to be nice and not... It's a consistent burn. I'm not going to make you yet. You see that the cloud of acid is maybe about 40-foot radius. It's a pretty large portion. It seems to move slowly, and it seems to be... It's distinct when you see it. There is a distinct border between this portion and the mist itself, but it seems to be being pushed along by the mist, kind of inadvertently. You can see that the mist is trying to like filter it back out, but it seems to be dense enough that it stays in its coherent cloud form. It just kind of seems to be cycling around.
Can we all see it now that we're out?
Nope, it's just a normal section of mist for you, and you're just going off of Ario's word.
First thing, can I still see the group down in the mist?
Barely, but you can make out where they are. They are clear of the acid.
Okay, so first thing, prestidigitation myself, get this fucking shit off me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that does work. You prestidigitate the acid. Your magic is straining because the acid itself is also a magical effect. You do manage to get it off. It's just how to put it. It's much more difficult than you had anticipated.
That's fine.
It takes
That's
time.
fine. Okay.
Okay. So at this point,
And then I'm going to try and meet up with the group. Oh god.
you're taking 9 more points of acid damage. You do meet up with the group, and you are completely free of acid. You see Ario, it still has some burning on his skin. Rannulfr, Sigrun, and Callen are still...
Oh, how'd you get that off you?
Like this, and he prestidigitates it off, like just a little bit, the little spots that are burning.
Good. I can do that. And I start.
Double
Okay.
prestidigitation.
Okay, so
Yeah.
both of you doing prestidigitation on Ario. It is enough. Ario. You take 6 more points of acid damage, and then you are done.
The moment
Let's
it's
start
done
doing
with
that.
Ario, I think we focus on Callen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cal first, yeah.
Okay.
we're working together.
Okay, you're working together. With that, you can get him out in 1 turn. And then?
Center.
Yeah, Center, and then Rannulfr, and then Sigrun.
No, Sigrun first.
Okay, Center, Sigrun, Rannulfr. That order.
Okay.
While they're doing this, I would like to try and disbelieve because I want to be able to see like the clear borders and whatever in the future.
Yeah. You as they're cleaning, you guys at this point have enough time that without the pressure added to by just having to immediately react and have to immediately figure it out, you go very slowly through the logical steps, and you are gripping your mind around it. Everyone make intelligence saving throws. As long as you don't catastrophically fail. As long as you don't catastrophically fail.
I did.
Again.
I did not have advantage. I just forgot to toggle it off.
Yeah, I needed to die. I just.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
uh-huh.
none of us are good at this.
So
Nope.
all 3 of you are like, you go through the steps, you look back, still normal mist. You can tell that none of them have broken the illusion.
It's so weird.
Ario or Al, one of you may make a medicine check.
Mine's at a 1, so
Mine did a 2, so it's a little better.
go for it.
18!
Ooh.
18. That's good. Okay. No. You're not Alosrin here, are you? No, you're Callen. There we go. Let me see. These are not exact measures of the values. Do realize that.
Okay.
That is what you can kind of ascertain from the acid burns and the damage that they have sustained.
Oh god!
And they do not seem to be any aware of it at all. They are just sitting there like it is fine. You're looking at them, it's like Oh God.
How does Ario look?
Ario, how do you look? Because Ario's actually reacting to his stuff, so
Probably judging by like how much health I have left, I'd say like my skin is all red, kind of looks like a bad sunburn, and like my clothing is a lot more damaged than the leather armor and such. And yeah, definitely like blisters in places and such, but mostly fine. I've looked worse. I've had graver wounds.
I am uncomfortable with the reaction.
So
Right, he was like, "Oh God."
he
Cal,
does a
Cal,
visible recoil.
Cal is fucked up. Cinter is fucked up. Sigrun is really fucked up. Rannulfr is doing better at the best of the four.
So
I think we need a lot of healing and we need some time to rest because and he kind of like does like a hand motion over the other four. You are horrifying.
Who?
I feel fine.
Did we get the acid off everybody yet?
It's off you, but it has done its work, and you look better than the rest. But you three, you particular, and points to Sigrun, Cal, you need a lot of healing on everyone here. How does my question is this, Matt? How does Al look to them?
Al looks fine.
Everything is fine.
I really don't understand why you deal out of this.
Yeah, I'm not getting it.
Yeah,
would I think if I charmed someone that I could convince them of the illusion?
I have a better idea. Al is going to put one finger on Sigrun's forehead and dispel magic on 4th level.
Okay. That will do it. Sigrun,
Everything hurts.
you take 39
Oh, yeah.
points of acid damage.
Holy okay, I mean, it could be worse. It could be way worse.
And
I was
then
at
you get-
full, so...
And then you get to see how everyone else looks.
And
it
then
is
you see
fucking
Al and Ario.
horrifying.
Yeah, everyone. You get to see everyone how they look.
I'm fine.
Yeah,
Oh.
they look really nonchalant about it too, which is the
Yeah, like,
terrifying
whatever.
portion.
So, Sigrun, do you see why we need to stop and rest, heal, and fix everyone? We are all monsters now.
Oh.
What?
I don't.
Oh, God.
And then the acid burns kick in. You can feel everything hit back in.
Son of a...
Matt, can I send BP the same thing you sent me?
I already sent her.
Oh, God. Gotcha.
Okay. Alright. Okay. Yeah. Alright, here's what's going to happen. Al is going to dispel this off of the rest of you. And
I
then
can
we
do
are
it to
going...
one more person.
Only one?
Yes. I think I know who the obvious choice is. Cal.
Yeah.
Yes, that's...
Yeah. And then maybe Tiny Hut.
Although, hold on. Cinta, can you dispel magical effects?
He sighs. You can see him just trying to concentrate real fast.
I'm sorry, Cinta.
He's gonna make his, first of all.
Well, the thought was if we could dispel it from him, then...
You see him concentrate, meditate a little bit. This one is difficult. No, I do not know.
Alright. Remove it from him, and then he can try to remove it from others. I'm talking to Al.
Okay.
The idea is Center has more dispels, and so we could spread it out a little bit more. We want to get as many people out from under this effect as possible.
Okay.
Center, I'm so sorry. And he's going to put one finger gingerly on his forehead and another 4th level Dispel Magic.
That will do it. Center, eyes open. Oh. And you can just see him like growling and closing his eyes, and you see him balling his fists in his lap and just keeping a very rigid meditative pose. Like a deep breath.
I'm so sorry.
He very gingerly stands up, wincing as he does so, goes up to Callen and Rannulfr, each of you. That's enough. That's enough. And each of you are dispelled successively. And whew. Cal, you were the first one dispelled.
All right.
You take 30 points of acid damage.
Ooh.
Rannulfr, you were the last one dispelled.
Jesus Christ.
Or sorry, you were the last one cleaned.
Yep.
You take 43 points of acid damage.
Oh, God. I would have taken my ass out.
So yes, you guys have done the correct order.
Yeah, I would have totally. Yeah.
All right, tiny hut.
Oh,
As it stands, I only have 13 hit points after that. Jesus.
Yes.
fuck.
Pain.
It'll be about 13 minutes and we'll be good. I imagine Al like kind of walks like he has like a really bad sunburn.
Like he's got chub rub between his thighs.
No, not between his thighs, all over his body.
Just everywhere.
Yeah, I was just imagining the really funny waddle that tends to come along with chub rub.
You see Center
I know that
is
model.
just sitting back down, and you can see him just kind of breathing a little bit of like frost onto his arms. You can see him wince at it and then kind of shake his head. It's not. You can tell that it's not working.
Oh.
Like to help with it. So he's just.
All right. Time to patch people up.
You start looking around, and like people's hair is already like Ario, Al. Well, Al, you were out of it faster. So like you are the your equipment is the least damage of everyone else's.
Equipment might be least damaged. Physical body, really fucked up.
Yeah. But I'm talking like your backpacks just need one good tug and it's gonna rip. Like
I can fix that.
mending?
Yeah, boy.
Okay. So yeah, if you spend like the hours, a couple hours in your hut going over everyone's like equipment,
Yeah.
you can't
Everyone-
mend
everyone's doing that.
everything perfectly, but you can make sure that it doesn't fall apart on them when they try to use it.
Once we're in the hut, Sigrun is going to pull out Cinter's sword and just sort of like rest it, like the flat of the blade against her arms.
It's probably a really bad idea, honestly.
Very bad.
Like, ice on an exposed like burn. Just I don't think that's a good idea.
You have to remember she runs hotter than everybody else anyway.
Fair point. Fair point.
Yeah.
Anything at this point.
So all of you are looking at each other with various acid burns.
Ugh.
Um,
I'm patching us up as much as I can, I suppose.
you're patching people up with poultices, with like you're not even bothering with bandages at this point. You're just slathering salve on them.
Yeah. Just,
It's like if it
maybe
dries,
this will make the pain go away.
yeah, it'll help. And all of you are wincing, but also glad that the cool salve hits your skin. You're like, okay, that helps at least the temperature, brings some relief. And as you guys are in the dome, and kind of looking around, you guys see the mist is still around. It is still kind of passing by the dome, brushing up against it, and then it starts parting away and clearing. And all of you, the dome is transparent from the inside out. You guys can look out of it. are seeing that there is a person at the head of a group of shambling undead, and they are just kind of jauntily skipping down the road. And you hear a very gravelly, like scratchy, almost indesirable tone, but oh, I didn't expect that. Hello, sister. As you see a much more heavy-set looking leading towards the dome. And I think that is where we're going to end it for tonight.